It's no secret at all that I couldn't do this channel if it wasn't for support from you, my subscriber base, and my Patreon donors. If you'd like to join this community by pledging $1 or more per month, go check out the link in the description below. And I thank you.
Hey, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. My name's Ethan Van Sciver. Big Walking Dead fan. I've been reading since the first issue. I even did a cover for the first issue. Love the comic book for the most part. The comic book has had some weird kind of missteps in it. Some uncomfortable moments. A bunch of, I don't know, some gang on the road kidnapping young Carl. Threatened to run a train on him, quote unquote. These are things that made me uncomfortable. But maybe that's what the comic book is supposed to do. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. It's supposed to make you fear humans just as much as you fear the undead that are walking around and biting people. I really don't understand how, The Walking Dead, these zombies are so fragile, by the way, that you could like stick just casually break their skull, with a sharp stick and puncture their brain. I mean, the effort, think about that. How hard would you have to stab someone in the skull to actually puncture their head? Something about being a zombie makes bone and flesh just brittle, I guess. Your skull is like a cracker. It's like a saltine. You can just puncture it and break it into a million pieces easily. That's the thing. And yet, their jaws are so powerful that they can bite through clothing, and their bites are really, really hard. They can break flesh, and yet their bones fall apart when you just kind of flick them like that. A zombie's head gets caved in. So it doesn't really make sense to me. But anyway, I've been a fan. I still like it. The TV show, I have, it's like, the TV show has been good. Maybe 10% of the time it's been excellent. The other 90% of the time it's incredibly awful. And I don't understand why they can't get the budget together. I mean, this show is a big, massive hit. It's certainly more important for AMC than any show they've ever had before, because it really is. I mean, people are watching it. People watch The Walking Dead. People like it. It's an event. Actually, I don't know if they like it, but they watch it anyway. Season 1 was okay. Season 2 was, a little bit rocky. Season 3 sucked. I mean, it sucked. It was like, it might as well have taken place like on a community theater stage. There were 3 sets that they used over and over again. There was one prison set interior. There was prison set yard, and then there was the governor's town, the blockade in front of the town. And they kept going to those 3 sets over and over again. The Walking Dead has 2 big things that always go wrong. Number 1, endless conversation. Endless conversation. Really, it boils down to this. If you want to follow the story, all you need to do is watch the first episode and the last episode. And if you want to get a little more detailed, watch the first 5 minutes of an episode and the last 5 minutes of an episode. That's really all you need to see, because in between is just people moping and whining and making plans about what they're going to do, what they might do, how they feel about what they did. There is absolutely nothing going on ever, for the most part. Now, I will say that Season 5 is the rare exception. The other thing that goes wrong with The Walking Dead is that the zombies are never a threat. I'm watching The Walking Dead for zombies. Zombies scare me. The idea of humanity being turned into bitey things, brainless bitey things, which is kind of how I'm beginning to see humanity anyway, that's terrifying to me. And I love the idea of surviving, boarding myself into a building with all the supplies that I want, basically living kind of like I do now, like a hermit, just doing nothing but drawing and watching movies and letting the outside world like growl and snarl and tear each other apart. It's a really, really appealing kind of horror fantasy. But that's only if the zombies are a threat and if they're scary. And in The Walking Dead, most of the time, I don't know how they do it, but they just manage to kind of casually walk by zombies. They're not scary. You walk by about 8 zombies and you go, you want to kill them? Yeah, let's kill them. All right. And then you just kind of offhandedly stick a knife into their skull, or chop their head off with a kind of flick of your wrist. There is no problem with zombies. They're not fast, they're not scary, they're not a threat. And when people do get bitten by zombies, you're like, how did you let that happen? I mean, how did you let that happen? It's not like it's never like they're asleep and the zombies creep in and bite them while they're sleeping. It's always like, I don't know, they see a zombie and suddenly something happens where they trip over a log backwards, and then before you know it, a zombie is on top of them, and you let it bite you in the waist. Hence what happened to Carl this last season, spoiler alert. So here we go. Walking Dead ratings fall to lowest since season 1. Whew. All right, so season 5 was really, really good. They managed to build up the threat of zombies for once. Zombies in season 5, I don't know who was responsible for it. That season alone is the only season you need to watch of The Walking Dead. Skip 1 through 4. You might as well skip 6 and 7 too, because aside from the initial interaction with Negan, quote unquote, where Negan first kind of makes everyone into his biatch, you don't need to watch any more of it. I mean, that episode and the episode that followed are both are pretty primo, but the rest of it's just nonsense. And here we go. I mean, all right, so when I got divorced, Hunter stayed with me, and for a long time it was just me and Hunter, and I probably am Rick's age, and Hunter is a little older than Carl, but there's something really kind of special about a father-son relationship, and surviving together. I mean, you really do. When you're alone together, it's like you feel like, hey, it's just me and you against the world, and it's a really neat thing that happens. I think someone else that we all know is going through that right now. Father-son relationship, really something cool, and they had that going on. They had that going on with Rick and Carl. Mom's dead. And there's a little baby involved that they both have to protect, but it's all about kind of raising your boy to be a man with you, and then this kind of, hey, we watch each other's backs, we do anything for each other. Really special thing about Walking Dead, that the heart of Walking Dead was Rick and Carl. Now, go ahead and get rid of that and see what happens to your show. Here's what happens to your show. AMC's hit drama The Walking Dead continues its slide in the key demographic, reaching its lowest point since season 1. Sunday's episode, The Lost and the Plunderers, drew a 2.9 rating among adults 18 to 49 and 6.8 million viewers in the Nielsen Live Plus same-day numbers. As Variety notes, the last time an episode of the zombie series drew less than a 3.0 rating was season 1's Wildfire with a 2.8. That's disgraceful. And the last time The Walking Dead attracted fewer than 7 million viewers was for the Season 2 episode Better Angels, which was seen by only 6.9 million. This week's episode trailed the mid-season premiere, the lowest rated show in the show's history, by about 20%. Of course, these figures always come with the caveat that even as it experiences a decline, The Walking Dead still earns ratings that would elate most network executives. It's consistently the most watched show on cable Sunday nights. That's correct. So why can't it be good? Why can't it be good? And here's the thing. If you get rid of the father and son relationship at the heart of the show's over. The show is over. What do we want to see how long Rick can hold out now? For what? What's Rick living for? I'll tell you something. If I lost my son, that was my ring. My wedding ring just snapped down on the desk. Sorry about that. If I lost my son, that's it. I don't know what I'd be living for. It's like the whole purpose of life is to sort of raise your child to adulthood and let them inherit the world. And without them, without this relationship at the heart of it, the show is over. And I promise you, there might be another season after this, but I'll bet that's it. That's my prediction. This is Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. Take care.